I was in a northern Italian prison, and I saw something that has always remained with me. Two parents were being interrogated by the secret police of northern Italy, and they brought in their son, who probably was 5 or 6 years old. They began mistreating him because they wanted the parents to sign a confession. And by brutalizing their child, they thought then the parents would break and talk.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, and above us only sky.
Women and children today in many parts of the world, India, Brazil, Turkey, Latin America, are horribly mistreated, detained for suspicions, for the slightest suspicions, and very often murdered. We cannot believe that children are murdered on the basis of suspicion, but that is a reality.
Imagine no possessions. I wonder if I can. No need for greed or hunger, and a family of men.
I remember well when I first met Ginetta. It was in 1972, and she appeared on my doorstep in Woodside, California, with a bundle of documents under her arm, and proceeded to explain to me in her inexplicable Italian accent about human rights violations worldwide, about a group called Amnesty International, about freeing these political prisoners, prisoners of conscience, from their prison cells and from torture. And I became very intrigued with this woman who was recruiting me into her nonviolent army of human rights activists. And I joined up to work with her and spent a couple of years building the West Coast office for Amnesty International.
Amnesty International has always sought to mobilize the world, government officials and private citizens, on behalf of political prisoners and in defense of human rights. One of that organization's guiding spirits, Ginetta Sagan, has been a vital force for decency, humanity, and freedom throughout the world in these last 3 decades. In Chile, Poland, and so many other countries, this woman has saved lives and championed the cause. During the latter days of the Second World War, Ginetta was a courier for the resistance forces in Italy, and in February 1945 was captured. She knows firsthand the suffering, the torture, the despair of those imprisoned by despots. Her tormentors, fascist secret police, tried to break her body and her spirit. They told her no one knew she was alive, that she was utterly alone, isolated. At the darkest moment of her ordeal, a guard kicked open the door.
She has drawn the world's attention to the plight of prisoners of conscience and to their families. Amnesty International has created a fund named in her honor, designed to help stop torture, and especially to stop the persecution of women and their children.
A u međuvremenu znali smo da pojedine žene izvode po noći. 9:30 je bilo navečer kad se otvorila vrata i pojavio se komandir osiguranja, Željko Mejakić. Naredio mi je da se dolegnem. I onda se iživljavao na meni, dok su drugi promatrali. To je trajalo do 2 sata u noć.
The mother of Tamara described, after they left Chile, the treatment her daughter received in detention. They undressed her and whipped her with a leather whip. They put her in a barrel with ice water and held her head under the water until she almost drowned. They threatened to rape her and whipped her again. This was repeated 4 times a day for 4 days. At that time, Tamara was 3 years old.
Throughout our years of work with Amnesty, during times of depression due to abhorrent human rights abuses, we have been blessed to have Ginetta ever present and ever available. With the creation of the Ginetta Sagan Fund, that vision will never grow dim. When Martin Luther King was asked how the civil rights movement had triumphed over all the power that was aligned against it, he said, "We never let them rest." And that is the promise that we make to you, Ginetta, which this fund will guarantee. To every despot in the world, we'll never let you rest. To every tyrant who brutalizes without remorse, we'll never let you rest. To everyone who kills and tortures, we'll never let you rest. To all of them we say, with you, for you, and through this fund in your name, no rest for you, no peace for you, no rest, no peace, no victory.
Today is the time to carry on a tremendous campaign to keep the spotlight on the crime committed against women and children and eventually put an end to this horror.
Oh, you may say we are dreamers, but we're not the only ones. I hope someday they'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Never be afraid to let your voice be heard against injustice. Silence is complicity.